doesn't matter. Hey, doesn't matter.
It don't matter what they say, we gon' talk anyway. Bell rings, mic check, let the real ones play. From the legends to the new blood climbing the ladder. Welcome to the show, it doesn't matter. Notorious Dome set the tone, main event status. BDC bring a fire, every take savage. Strap facts with the knowledge, history splatter. Poppy planting a wild card, say it loud, it doesn't matter. No filter, no bias. This is the It Doesn't Matter podcast.
What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the It Doesn't Matter podcast. I'm your host. I'm Notorious One. I am Dom. I'm here at Poppy Platinum. I'm here with Strap Facts, and I'm here with the man that chose tonight's topic. I'm here with BDC. Fellas, what's going on?
What's up,
What's
bro?
good, you?
So,
What's up? What's up? All right, tonight is going to be a little different. It's not going to have no hot takes. We're not going to rant. Well, maybe we might rant. But we're not going to, no shenanigans tonight. Tonight, we're going to talk about Jay Briscoe, BDC's choice right here, and this guy, he's a definition of Ring of Honor. He's Mr. Ring of Honor, I think. That dude, he was all gas, no brakes. The promos that man used to cut, it was so believable. Him and his brother, one of the greatest tag teams of all time, 12-time tag team champs, Ring of Honor tag team champs. This man was, what,
13.
13 times. This guy was what, 2-3 times Ring of Honor heavyweight champ.
Yeah.
And
13-time world tag champ.
TV champ too, right?
Yep.
Grand Slam
Yep.
champ.
Yeah.
Bro, actually also held the world 6-man tag team championships with his brother and Bully Ray too.
Yeah. Forgot
Okay.
about that one.
Yep. And Ring of Honor Hall of Famer along with Mark in 2022. So
All
he
right.
was alive to see to be inducted into the Ring of Honor Hall of Fame.
Yeah, so tonight we're talking about the man, Jay Briscoe. Unfortunately, we lost Jay Briscoe 2 years ago in a car accident. So we're going to talk about the life and time of Jay Briscoe. I remember the first time I seen Jay Briscoe was at Ring of Honor Boiling Point 2012 in Rhode Island. Stratfax in the building. Didn't know who Stratfax was. I was with Platino, and we seen the Briscoe brothers taking on scum of Jimmy Jacobs and Steve Corino, and didn't know nothing about them boys, those Briscoe boys, but the fans, they knew who them boys were. They were loud.
Yes, sir.
They were rowdy. And I took a picture of Mark later that night, but them dudes, they had the place rocking, and I seen that they had a lot of potential, and it definitely stood out to me that I started following them. You know, I'm a big tag team guy. I enjoy their stuff, and yeah, it was just the believability for me, for him and his brother. You have the one who's mad serious, then you got that Joker, and
Yeah.
I just
Yeah.
love the combination.
Yeah. Yep.
And
Yeah.
what was it called? What kind of kung fu did Mark Briscoe used to use?
Redneck Kung Fu.
The redneck kung fu. Oh man, it was hilarious. I know that definitely popped me the first time I seen that. And then
Yeah.
Jay Briscoe serious, and with the neck breaker and the Jay Driller and all that stuff like that.
That damn Jay Driller boy.
Oh,
Woo.
that man was filthy. Strap, I know you was at Boiling Point. Was this the first time that you ever seen Jay Briscoe in person?
absolutely not you, Mark. I've been going to Ring of Honor shows when you were in diapers. Not really. But my exposure to Ring of Honor was, you say 2012, I say mine was 2005. The very first show was in Woodbridge, Connecticut. And actually, no, well, later that summer would be Matt Hardy. He would be the big star on the Fate of an Angel show. But yeah, the Briscoes, one interesting factoid is, like, for a long time, going to live events, going to live shows wasn't a thing. I mean, I was a kid, until I got a car and I started driving on my own, and my amount of seeing live pro wrestling in person was very limited. But up to a point, one of those Ring of Honor shows in Connecticut, Jay Briscoe versus Samoa Joe, at one point, that was the best live match I had ever seen So that's incredible to think about. Jay Briscoe at that point in time, he was still primarily a tag team wrestler. So for him and Samoa Joe to be a standout singles match, it's incredible. It was great. During Samoa Joe's epic Ring of Honor World Title reign, Jay Briscoe was one of the number one contenders. So they had matches before. So in that sense, it kind of reminds me of the Steiner brothers. How WWF would never do that, but WCW did it a lot. They would just have Rick Steiner challenge Ric Flair for the world title match, or they'd have Scott Steiner challenge the world champion, the Giant, on Nitro. It's just like, why are they getting title shots? They're tag team wrestlers.
Yeah.
But other companies would do that. WCW, Ring of Honor, they would do that kind of thing. Probably, in an effort to elevate talented wrestlers, like a proving ground. And Jay Briscoe would definitely prove himself time after time, and eventually leading to, him being a great single star in addition to being a great tag team wrestler. That's right, Kobe. He is a great tag team and singles competitor.
Tell him what it is, Kobe.
All right, BDC, talk about the beginning. Talk about your first encounter with Jay Briscoe. I know he's from Delaware and your neck of the woods.
Yeah.
So go ahead, get into it.
He actually was, according to Wikipedia, he was born in Maryland, but he took up root in Delaware and the family. But I first saw him on TV. I for the longest time was basically, it was either WCW, WWF. I had my time where it was ECW, but then I got to a point, it was around 2011, when I was like, you know what? I was like, I need to start expanding. I've been in this thing watching wrestling for now, at this point, 20 some odd years. I was like, I want to start expanding out. I want to start seeing what else is out there. I want to see if there's anything other than WWF, or at this point, it was literally only WWF because WCW was gone, ECW was gone. TNA was just kind of starting to really getting going. And now it was kind of like, I need to start looking to see what else is out there. And that's how I found Ring of Honor. And, I saw the Briscoes on Ring of Honor, and it was like, these guys are crazy. I like these guys. I like these guys. These guys are really good, a really good tag team. But it was really, for me, what sold me on Jay was when Jay was making his solo push towards his first world championship, and ultimately that culminated with the match with Kevin Steen, which we all know is Kevin Owens, where he finally took that first championship. That match was ridiculously good. It was like, they both showed out. It was a hell of a match. And on that night, I was like, "Oh, Jay Briscoe is the truth. Like, that dude is for real." And I mean, to that point, I said the same thing about Kevin Steen. Like, Kevin Steen can work. He can really do his thing in that ring. And then, I kind of forgot about Kevin Steen for a minute, and then he shows up at WWE as Kevin Owens. I was like, "Holy shit, that's Kevin Steen!" Holy, yeah, I was that guy. So, but yeah, it was like, I was sold so hard on Jay Briscoe at that point. I was like, this dude can do anything. I heard his promos, and the thing about his promos, it was like, if you heard him outside of wrestling and you heard him doing his promos, they did not sound like they were too far off as far as the guy that they were the same guy. So it was like, he wasn't really cutting promos. It was just like he was speaking his truth. And, he was really good at that. And then, like, you get into the ring, and dude was like phenomenal in the ring. That the Jay Driller, which, I mean, you've seen people do like the implant buster. That's like a lot of the ladies do the implant buster, where they kind of lift them up and then throw them down. This dude lifted him up and then went straight powder. I was like, holy shit. Yo. I was wild, and I was like, I can't believe. I was like, I have never seen that before. That is crazy. Yeah, as I said, I was sold on him, and have been sold on him ever since. I mean, that was my first time seeing him. My first time actually seeing him in person was a WrestleMania weekend. I ended up going to a show because I think there was a night you had a show that you were going to, so I couldn't go with you. You'd already kind of paid for it in advance, so I kind of had to just find something else to do. And I ended up finding this show, that House of Hardcore show, where I think the Briscoes showed up as a surprise, and just kind of laid people out in the ring and then left. And I was like, oh my god, it's the Briscoes! It's the fucking Briscoes! Finally get to see the Briscoes. They're like a minute and a half. They were in, kicked ass, and left. But that was them. That was my first time physically seeing them. But like I said, my first time actually watching them was many years before that.
That was good times. You guys, Platinum reminded me earlier, like we seen FTR and the Briscoes, and now you talking about that WrestleMania weekend. I'm trying to remember what was that, Super Card of Honor? WrestleMania weekend. That's their show.
I believe so.
Yeah, I think the Supercard of Honor runs.
I remember that
weekend.
And I seen it was Cody versus Kenny in Ring of Honor. I'm trying to remember who the hell was that undercard. I wonder, did the Briscoes fight? They had to fight that night.
If it was a
John,
Super Card of Honor, they had to.
I'm pretty sure they were in NXT as the Revival at that time, sir.
No. I'm talking about the Briscoes. I'm not worrying about FTR.
It might have been
the Briscoes FTR. That's what you said.
No, I'm saying Platinum reminded me earlier about that, how me and him seen FTR and Briscoes go at it. We seen them at Death Before Dishonor, and then BDC talking about the show that I seen. The one he went to go see, the Briscoes at House of Hardcore, whatever.
Yeah,
I went to that Super Card of Honor.
Showed up at the show. Yeah,
so I went to that whatever Super Card of Honor or was. I'm trying to remember if they had a match that night, because that's the night when Kenny Omega fought Cody for the first time.
You think maybe they went against War Machine at the time? Because I don't think they were signed to the E at that time. I don't think. What
a night that was in the Pontchartrain, New Orleans. 2018. I'm looking it up right now.
Yeah, so it would either be
WrestleMania. The Briscoes wrestled Jay Lethal and Hiroshi Tanahashi.
WrestleMania 30 or 34.
You can stop talking. I just found it. The Briscoes wrestled Jay Lethal and Hiroshi Tanahashi.
See, I see another good match for the tag titles. Yep, it's another match. You guys reminded me of all this stuff now. Definitely bring me back.
Yep.
There was a different match that ended the show that wasn't Kenny and Cody Rhodes.
Yeah, the champion was Dalton Castle. Dalton Castle
against Marty Scurll. What the hell?
Yep.
Jesus.
Yeah.
My God. I know the Cody and Kenny match did not live up to expectations, but Jesus.
No, it didn't. That shit was long as hell, bro.
And then you get out of the arena and it's a freaking a rainstorm like no one's business, man. It was terrible.
I'm on the other side of New Orleans. I'm not in walking distance. I had to catch
Hell no. Yeah. No one could catch a damn Uber because everyone was calling one. It sucked. It sucked so bad.
I should rewatch this show. Bully Ray and Cheeseburger versus the Dogs, Rhett Titus and Will Ferrara.
God.
Oh, okay.
Wow, I went to this show. That's crazy.
And Kota Ibushi defeated Hangman Page.
Wow.
Not only that.
Punishing Martinez
yes.
Versus Ishii.
Ooh.
Tomohiro Ishii and Damian Priest.
Wow.
Wow, indeed. Holy smokes. And then you had, and remember this, the finals for the Ring of Honor Women of Honor Championship, Killer Kelly Klein, who is pretty darn over and should have won the title. Sumi Sakai beat her to become the first champion. I was like, you guys are goddamn morons. I'm sorry. I know she was a legend and she had great history in Japan prior, but she was old, she was ugly, and she should not have been the face of the women's division for Ring of Honor. What the Ring of Honor?
She beat Abel's girl, Emma.
Emma?
No, during
during the tournament, probably.
During the tournament.
I forgot about that.
She's on her second child.
Is she?
Yeah.
She better stop
With-
stealing from Walmart in Hartford.
With Madcap Moss.
Good old Riddick.
All right. Plot to know. FTR, the Briscoes. You know I like FTR. You know I like the Briscoes. Old school tag team versus the modern day tag team. Violence. The promos. Definitely the promos.
Yeah, the promos was crazy, bro.
These dudes, they were definitely different. They brought it to you. They brought the singles match. They had the 2 out of 3 falls match. They had the dog collar match. Do you think that this rivalry forced people to stop sleeping on the Briscoes? Stop sleeping on FTR?
Man, I don't think anybody slept on FTR, but I think there was a spotlight on the Briscoes. Finally, there was a team that people knew that had to go and see the Briscoe brothers. We knew about them. A lot of people knew about them in the indies, but when you put a team like FTR and you put them against the Briscoes, your ears perk up. Like, who are these guys that's giving these guys a run for their money? FTR to me is probably one of the best tag teams, maybe top 5 in our generation at this moment. Probably top 2 right now. I don't see anybody better than them right now. But Jay and Mark, whew, that combination of like greediness, it's like basically Mick Foley 2 times. You got that hardcore style of Cactus Jack, and then you got that crazy, goofy Mankind where he's like the corporate heel, where he's like, I'm doing it for you, yo, Vinnie Mac. but Mark is so much more athletic, man. He's more comedic. He's better timing, and oh my god, I honestly wish that Jay would still be alive right now to continue that rivalry, because the tag team division everywhere would be probably just not talking about FTR, but they'd be talking about the Briscoes.
Yeah, I think the worst part of it all is that had it not been for the comments that were made, which Jay himself said were attributed to his character and not to him himself, and even people behind the scenes have said, yeah, he was really talking to the character, because the guy that he is in real life is not the guy that made those statements. You know, I would have loved to have seen him in AEW since they were technically signed there, but there was an executive who wouldn't put him on TV in AEW, would still allow them to be in Ring of Honor, but wouldn't allow them on TV for AEW. And, you know, it sucks because he dies and now you're going to put Mark on TV, but technically that's kind of like saying, oh, well, your brother's the only reason why you weren't allowed. And of course you hear, oh, well, that executive's no longer here, blah, 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 blah. Bullshit.
It doesn't
Bottom
matter.
line is, if you have a guy, own it all the way through. If you don't want him on because of statements that he made, even that he's apologized for, and even that people in his circle and people who can vouch for him was like, yeah, he's really not that guy. He's really supportive of the people that you're claiming he's defaming at this moment. You know, what do you say to that what do you say to that when you're an owner and you have the opportunity? And I don't care about an executive on TNT. Oh, I'm not going to put him on. Guess what? If you really wanted him on, you could have put him on. You could have put him on pay-per-views. You could have put him on pay-per-views. There were so many different avenues you could have put him on TV if you really wanted him on. And I think that it's just really a matter of they just were not going for the comments at that point. And it is what it is, but own it. Just own it. Don't make it seem like everyone else is crazy and, you know, it's all these other things, when the bottom line is it's really just you're not. Just read the comment. You know, it's really just not a case of you didn't want him there for whatever reason, and just own it. That's just all there is to it. But I just I really would have loved to see how they would have run in AEW if they had the chance. And I hate that we missed that. I hate that we never got the shot. I love everything they're doing for Mark now, but I hate that we didn't get a chance to see the Briscoes in AEW.
I mean, I don't think it's not that simple. You know, you have your cable partners, your TV partners. They're the ones paying for your show. They're the ones giving you money. So you can't just, even though as you know everything, as much as you want Jay Briscoe to be on TV, if the people paying you, the bosses have a problem with it, then you have to give in. You know, you can't. You know, how hard can you fight? I mean, obviously, when he passed away, there's like, all right, the man's dead. Can we just get one of these Briscoes on TV? You know, at that point, what can you say? Because the man died, you know. But, you know, as circumstances were, when, you know, they were still alive, he was still alive, you know, it's like, oh, you know, people will dig up his history. Can't, you know.
But
So.
I completely understand. Look, I completely understand that. My problem is that you make it seem like it was one executive that since Jay Briscoe died, this guy miraculously disappeared, and now you could put the Briscoe, you could put Briscoe on TV. You can have a whole tribute to him on TV. You can do all these things for the Briscoes on TV now because this one guy disappeared that just so happened to disappear after Jay Briscoe died.
I don't think this man. I don't think anyone disappeared.
No,
but you can safely argue.
Oh, this guy's long gone now. But Mark Briscoe was literally on TV less than a month after Jay died. So my point is, own it. If you don't want him on TV because of that stuff, own it. Just feel like, you know, we will put him on TV, but these things are made, and this is not our value. This is not how we feel. So we can't put him on TV. Just own it. Because now it just looks like, oh, well, there was this one guy that held everything up, and we would have had him if this one guy wasn't there, when that's not the fact. That's not the fact at all. The fact of the matter is you had every opportunity to put him on TV if you wanted to. You just chose not to, and him dying made it a lot easier to just say, oh, we could tribute him and now put his brother on TV.
Well, you see how well that worked for the biggest company in the world. There's one guy that made a really ignorant comment, and when he showed up on TV, the fans let him hear it, that we don't care what the executive thinks. He's a fucking asshole, and we don't care. He did a lot for the business. I know, Dom, you hate talking about it too, but those comments,
I think people are more apt to forgive a real legend and icon like Hulk Hogan than some indie wrestler we've never heard of named Jay Briscoe. Okay, I'm not trying to denigrate the man of the hour here, but that's the truth.
They didn't forgive him though.
That's the thing. They never.
No. In this situation, the fans did not forgive. You're correct, but I'm talking about the suits.
Oh yeah, the suits.
You know,
the suits.
That random guy that's running USA Network or whatever. The guy basically the same guy who said, "Hey, Jay Briscoe, I don't want you on TNT." That version of the guy for WWE, USA Network, whatever the hell, you know, that person was probably like enamored with Hulk Hogan because of his, you know, I grew up with you, you know, so I'll instantly forgive or never even heard of your allegations versus like, oh, I heard this Jay Briscoe guy, like he's not, no one grew up with him. Like, who is he? You know, I don't forgive him as easily from the executive point of view.
Okay, bet JD McDonough.
What about him?
Jordan Devlin had a history.
That's why I still don't like this fucking idiot.
Jordan Devlin had a history.
I hate him.
What he do?
Well, he touched somebody. Maybe.
Yep.
Same thing. Austin Theory, same thing. A lot of people got allegations. I mean, you know.
A lot of stuff has happened, but, you know, at the end of the day, they still end up on TV. So, no, as I said, I wouldn't mind it so much if they owned it, but they don't. They never owned it. They just made it seem like there was just this one guy somewhere who miraculously disappeared after he died, and I hated that. Either give him a shot, either give him a shot, or just say, you know, we're not going to give him the shot, and this is the reason, and own it. And I appreciate they kept him on Ring of Honor when Ring of Honor wasn't televised, and you know, it was what it was.
Regarding that, I still think there's there's a level of priorities here. It's like, yeah, you know, on the docket of 20 things Tony Khan has going on, getting Jay Briscoe and the Briscoes to be on his television while he's doing everything else that he's doing is, you know, it's on the list, but it's way down there. We'll get to it when we can, you know. I think it's more like that.
especially that company still being so fairly young, and they're still recovering off of COVID. I mean, I think any company that literally started like the beginning of October, if you think about it,
Well, yeah.
and then going into like not even 3-4 months into your company, and then everything shuts down, anybody would be in a panic.
What was that? What did they come? What did they come around in? Like came around in 2019, right? I think that
Yeah.
they officially AEW officially came around in 2019.
Yeah, so
And-
they had their first few pay-per-views in the beginning of the year, and then the official Dynamite was in October, if I believe.
And then they like the rest of the world shut down for the pandemic.
Yeah.
But I mean, technically, did they not? Was it them or was no? I think they came up with the we're gonna still have people out there, but they just had the wrestlers in the stands.
Yeah.
And then WWE came up with the whole Thunderdome concept.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah. So, because initially they only had wrestlers out there too, and then next week it was Thunderdome, and we're watching fans, including myself, who was on a Thunderdome episode once.
Were you one next to Chris Benoit?
Huh?
Were you next to Chris Benoit?
No.
Oh.
But I remember people kept doing that shit. It was put up pictures of Chris Benoit, so it was like, bruh, you're so wrong.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So, how do you think AEW deserved the criticism right here? Do you think that they should have put the man on TV from some old tweets for over 10 years ago at the time? Or, just keep him at Ring of Honor? Obviously, they didn't do him right at the time. Because
I can't.
That Briscoes and FTR match, they should have definitely been on one of the all outs or all ins or whatever you want to call it.
I can't blame them for not putting him on because, like John said, you got the executives on your ass. Like, you put that guy on, you lose all your sponsorship, all your contracts, everything that you literally worked for. All these guys are out the door again. So now you really have to like bust your ass and find another set of sponsors to get back on TV. Just because, unfortunately, Jay was not a household name. It's sad to say. To us, we knew who Jay was. We're the sickos. We're the guys that constantly go to these shows and we pay the money to see damn boys. But if someone were to say Hogan Hatui or Jay Briscoe, you got to go where the money's at. Unfortunately, no matter what we say and what we think as people, we're all controlled by the almighty dollar.
And again, my argument is not putting him on TV. As I said, I would have loved to have seen that. My issue has always been their lack of accountability for owning the reason why they did it. They did not. Bottom line is they did not own that. They did not own that. And when they put Mark Briscoe on TV after Jay Briscoe's death, they made it seem like, oh, well, the executive that didn't want them on TV is long gone now. So, now we can do all of this. And
I really disagree with that, BDC. I don't know where that comes from. I just disagree with you, and I'm not gonna,
because Tony Khan's the guy who said it.
I'm not gonna fight you over it.
Tony
You keep saying
Khan is the guy who literally said the executive that was responsible for that is long gone now. He said it. I didn't make this up. This didn't come out my ass. He literally said it.
Strap.
But I'm trying to go back to the thing. It's like, okay, it's not magically like, okay, Tony Khan is spending every week saying, now my number one priority is to get the Briscoes on AEW TV.
I understand that, but at the end of the day, I'm saying own the shit. If you didn't want him on the show for all the things that was said, then just say, you know what? He might be a good fit, but we're not going to put him on. That doesn't reflect our values, even if it was 10 years ago. Cool with that. I would definitely just be like, you know what? That's kind of fucked up, but I get it. But in typical Tony Khan fashion, a lot of things he will kind of try to dance his way out of being the problem by saying things like, oh yeah, well, the one guy who was responsible. No, dude, you were part of responsible too. because you could have absolutely tanked yourself and put him on the show. You could have done that, but common sense would have said, "Nah, you can't put him on the show after getting those comments like that." And I get that. And the thing of it is, I'm not saying they should have just put him on regardless. I'm saying I get why they didn't do it, but own the reason why you did it. Own it. Just own it.
No, he'd never do that on national platform.
And the bottom line is he made it very clear that it was one executive that was responsible for it. And we all know that's not the truth. We all know that's not the reason. There is not one executive that holds up the gravy boat like that. It's a bunch of them. It's stockholders, like you said. It's the moneymakers behind the scenes. It's all of them. It's all. There's a whole bunch of people responsible for that, not just one person. We all know that. We've seen things long enough to know. That's all I'm saying. Whether he was on or not, to this point, not really relevant. It was just the fact that they failed to own it. That's my problem.
I'm gonna disagree with you, but I'm gonna also argue with this argument. Should Vince McMahon be held for the death of Owen Hart?
Was he
instead
not?
of the rig guy?
Was he not? Was he not? Was he not held responsible for keeping the show going after that happened? It was something that happened at your show. Technically, people said they should have given refunds out that night and stopped the show right then and there, but they did not. The show went on. Did he not catch hell for that for years afterwards? Hell, he's still catching hell for that now. Why do you think Owen Hart is a part of AEW, not WWE? He's still catching hell for that. The company's still catching hell for that. He's not even a part of the company anymore.
Well, that's what the lawsuit was about. They were trying to find out who was, to answer Abel's question, who was, legally responsible for Owen Hart's death. So it was the manufacturer of the rigging equipment. So WWE was found not guilty of that. So who was responsible for Owen Hart's death? The manufacturer of the rigging equipment is responsible for the death of Owen Hart.
Right. But who still catches hell for it?
Well, that wasn't Platino's question. So Platino's question was who was responsible for Owen Hart's death, and that's the answer.
Yeah,
but
the next follow-up question is:
the show
should have
ended because it was a crime scene. It should have just ended right there.
Yeah. I agree.
It really was.
Yeah.
Morally and all that stuff. The show should have ended.
The show should have definitely ended.
Vince had to use quick logic, and he chose the poorer path.
The show must go on.
Yes.
All right. Well, let's get right into it. Nobody's gonna remember Jay Briscoe for some homophobic tweets. You have to look that shit up to go see it. How will the fans remember him as?
Badass.
Absolutely.
A multi-time champion. And honestly, if you listen to CVV with Austin recently, Austin talks about there's no guys nowadays that look intimidating. If you see Jay Briscoe walking down the street or in any match, you ain't messing with that dude.
No.
That dude looked like he was all business. No bull-esque.
Seen this dude bald-headed. Seen this dude with dreads. Seen this dude with locks. Seen this dude with all sorts of hairstyles, and this dude look crazy in every single one of them. I'm not messing with that dude.
Dude, I went to, do the little fist pump as a fan. He was looking at me. I was like, oh, man, maybe I should, turn that back. But no, he gave me the fist bump. He was like, all right, you that boy.
Yeah.
Like, you ain't back down.
Yeah.
I respect that.
He's definitely intense. I was watching some promos between him and them boys and FTR, and they in the farm. Mark, the camera's on, brother. The camera's on, brother. And he's out there, taking his hat off or taking the bandana off, putting the hat on, and he's raking and shit like that. And he's talking all this shit, and his brother just sitting in the back, just he was eating like some Skittles or some shit like that, just eating something in the background, just chilling. Like, yeah, I'm gonna come get you afterwards too. What he said, like, yo, this dude, I don't want to mess with him.
No.
Again, look, his promos versus the guy who he's actually seen, they were not far off, man. They were not far off.
Want to see him and Brink if that could happen.
Like that
Stare
dude,
down.
like if I
Who can bale hay better battle between Jay Briscoe and Brock
We all
Farmer
Brock's
Boy
gonna
Lesnar.
just kill him.
Oh my god.
Yeah, you want to talk about the legacy of Jay Briscoe? It's like one of the legacies is every time they came out with a new promo. I mean, it wasn't an official Ring of Honor promo. It wasn't an official whatever company. It was just on the Briscoes' own personal YouTube channel or whatever.
Yeah.
It was always must see television because you never knew what them boys were going to say. It was always compelling, and if it was not compelling, at least it was delivered correctly and intensely.
Yes.
I wish I would have seen them in the
dudes
WWE ring,
something
but
special
they
together, man.
would definitely have been toned down if they was in.
I mean,
Yeah.
we all imitate wrestlers, throughout our daily lives, I'm sure, doing whatever we're doing. But, one Jay Briscoe isms is him just going, shit. That's it.
Son of a bitch.
Shit. Watch the damn tapes. They made a t-shirt out of that. One of his promos was, we've been around so long, we got to watch the damn tapes. We still on VHS. That's how long we've been wrestling. Watch the damn tapes. And another famous promo, they're talking about how long they've been around, especially in Ring of Honor. The very first show. Day one, Murphy Wreck. Day one, Murphy Wreck. They just repeated that over and over. Day one, Murphy Wreck. Shit.
Think about it this way. When them boys started wrestling, Mark wasn't even legally able to wrestle yet. There were shows where Mark was there with Jay. Jay was wrestling. Mark legally couldn't yet.
It's literally like the Hardy Boys all over again.
Yeah.
Mark Briscoe was so young, JD McDonough was hitting on him. That's how young he was.
Shit.
Son of a bitch.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, we did try to say there will not be shenanigans tonight. I guess that just went out the window.
That wasn't gonna happen. When Don said that, I said, "Come on, man. You know we them boys."
He tried it.
I like their tag name, and even Abel's wearing the shirt there, Dem Boys. I got an original hashtag Dem Boys t-shirt, and I'm like, I love that shirt. I ain't wearing it now though.
So bad.
I wanted that shirt. I wanted it, but it was sold out at one point. So I ended up with this one. Still fits.
Yeah.
Got the original one. It has like BriscoeBrothers.com on the back.
Yeah, I hate that I don't have any Ring of Honor merch from the original Ring of Honor. I would not get the crap that they have today with the updated Ring of Honor logo that looks like absolute crap.
Comes in a crate.
There's just certain things they could have left alone, and that logo was one of them. Like,
yeah, they had one in camo.
Uh-oh.
They had some cool merchandise. They had Speaking of that promo, the watch the damn tapes, it came in a VHS style box. The T-shirt.
Get the hell out of here!
No,
I want to.
That's dope.
Go find it on eBay.
I will find that. It's not even have to.
Let me go looking for that. Let me go looking for that.
Watch the damn tapes.
Show.
Yeah.
Just like us. Watch the damn tapes. We sucked before, but we good now. We were so bad, the camera said, "I'm done with this."
Lord have mercy.
Filmed in front of a live studio iPad.
Actually, I think what I will do as my final thought is I'm gonna run down this championship line. I'll run down this shit. Y'all give your thoughts. Y'all pretty much already know where I'm at with it, so I'm just gonna run down. I'm gonna run down the line.
Go ahead.
Well, no, y'all go first. I'll end it off with that.
Yeah, so,
unless y'all got nothing else to say, then I'll just go ahead.
I got the closing line, so go ahead. Do your thing.
Want to steal his championship thunder.
Well, so um, according to Wikipedia, he is a two-time Combat Zone Wrestling tag team champion with Mark Briscoe. Match of the year and Extreme Rising Moment of the year. Full Impact Pro tag team champion with Briscoe, of course. Game Changer Wrestling tag team champion 3 times. House of Glory tag team champion once with Mark Briscoe.
Ooh.
Impact Wrestling champion with Mark Briscoe.
Really?
TNA, right?
The Impact, yeah. Impact Wrestling TNA, yeah.
No.
He
what
actually
year was that? What year was
Does it
that?
say what year?
They were in Impact Wrestling 2022.
Oh, that was. Wait, what?
Yeah,
That don't count.
yeah. They were in Impact Wrestling 2022.
Don't judge TNA when they're on their hands and knees begging.
Yeah.
They're like, hey, I'm a TNA World Champion. I'm like, that means dog shit, man. Penta, Austin Aries, Eddie Edwards. Gee, yeah. Everyone is a Alberto Del Rio.
Hey.
Indie Wrestling Hall of Fame class of 20.
He tied up Paige in a basement and beat her. So you shut up, people.
I did. That's why I wanted to bring that up.
Wait, let me defend him for a sec. No, I'd rather not.
No. I just wanted you to bring it up. I'm an asshole.
You're a real Beavis.
Let's see. Jersey All Pro Wrestling tag team champion with the Insane Dragon. NWA Crockett Cup winner with Mark Briscoe. New Japan Pro Wrestling, the IWGP tag champs with Mark. Never Openweight 6-man tag champs with Mark Briscoe and Toru Yano. NWA Wildside tag champ with Mark Briscoe. He was Premier Wrestling Federation World Heavyweight Champion. He was ranked 7th in the top 500 wrestlers of the PWI 500 in 2015.
Well deserved.
HC Junior Heavyweight Tag Team Champs with Mark Briscoe for Pro Wrestling Noah. Pro Wrestling Unplugged Tag Team Champ, Mark Briscoe again. Real Championship Wrestling Tag Team Championship with Mark Briscoe. This dude won Tag Team Championship everywhere. Ring of Honor World Championship twice. 13-time World Tag Team Champions with Mark Briscoe. World 6-man Tag Team Championship with Bully Ray and Mark Briscoe. In the Honor Rumble in 2009. Tag Team of the Year 2019. Tag Team of the Decade in 2010s. Tag Team of the Year in 2021. Ring of Honor Hall of Fame in 22. Squirrel Circle Wrestling Tag Team Championships, again, Mark Briscoe. USA Extreme Tag Champions, you know with who. Wrestling Observer Tag Team of the Year in 2007. Feud of the Year 2022, Briscoes and FTR. And the Shad Gaspar John Huber Memorial Award as part of the Poe family in 2023. And that's the list. The very long list of his accomplishments. And I didn't even know that he was a part of Impact Wrestling for the time that he was, which is crazy to me. I think I kind of tuned out. That was around the time I tuned out of Impact Wrestling because of the whole Hulk Hogan, Eric Bischoff, running them into the ground kind of feel. So, and I think they changed names. They came back. I just kind of left them alone. But yeah, that's all him for a guy who would have turned. He would be turning 42 in about 17 days. And his 3-year anniversary of his death comes next week.
So while we're covering the man,
Yep.
Jay Briscoe.
Yep.
Strap, any thoughts?
We're the same age, so
Yeah.
when he passed away, and also around that time, another person around my age also passed away, also in a unexpected, car accident. So be careful driving out there, everyone. But that is, never mind the pro wrestling, but when face face the facts with that fact that we're the same age. It's very terrifying, honestly. It makes you self-reflect and think about, you don't know. It doesn't matter who you are, what you do, how much family you have, how many kids you have, who you're married to. You're still just a human being. So that's some sad self-reflection, but so, just live your life and do the best you can.
Wear your seatbelts too, folks.
But for BDC ran down his championship lineage. His I didn't follow him in all the companies, but for Ring of Honor, his first world title run, as you mentioned, he beat Kevin Steen after a very long storyline, almost similar to the I'm drawing a blank. John Moxley with the former Blackpool Combat Club. John Moxley holding the title hostage for so long, and people hating it. I mean, I'm not saying people hated Kevin Steen in the same manner, leading that scum group, but he was holding the Ring of Honor title hostage. And Jay Briscoe, Ring of Honor day one, beating him for the championship. It was such a huge moment and such a big push for Jay as a singles competitor. That was awesome. The title reign didn't end very well due to various circumstances. Later on, I was like, and I drew a blank, like, who did he beat for the second world title? He beat Michael Elgin, Unbreakable Michael Elgin. And the reason he beat him is because Michael Elgin, as a Ring of Honor world champion, does an interview and he says, when I wrap up my wrestling career, which could be soon, I'd like to try my hands at baseball. The Ring of Honor suits were like,
oh my
you
God.
can't say that. And within the month, guess who dropped the Ring of Honor world title? And of course, they're going to give it to someone who has proven themselves to be a loyal soldier. And that was Mr. Jay Briscoe for his second world title reign. And I believe he ended up dropping it to Jay Lethal for Jay Lethal's first epic world title run. So, just passing the torch forward. And it was just great. I mean, those are two, it's hard to compile a lot of great Ring of Honor matches and moments, but Jay Briscoe is already part of two of them right there. Beating Kevin Steen for the title, beating Michael Elgin, and then also dropping the title to Jay Lethal. That's three. Yeah. So out of get that one. Samoa Joe match. So never mind. I mean, like, we're so many tremendous tag team matches. We've already mentioned 4 singles matches of Jay Briscoe, and that's not even that's just not enough.
Not even hitting the surface of where.
Don't forget the ladder war.
Oh,
Still on the ladder.
Another
ladder war, the Briscoes, Steen and
the Bucks,
Steen and El Generico.
Another side note of being going to Ring of Honor shows. It was at the Manhattan Center, so upstairs, not the Hammerstein Ballroom, but it's the same building, the same facility. But in the Manhattan Center, it was a ladder war. They did so few of them, they were able to count them on. Ring of Honor's been around for like 20 years, so within 10 hands you can count ladder wars. And I was front row, and I had a brand new T-shirt. It's the one CM Punk wore on television, or something like that. It said, "Colt Cabana, how you doing?" It was gray, and I was so close to the action. I have Briscoe blood on my collar. It's dried. It's been laundered, but it's still there. I've got Jay Briscoe blood on my freaking Colt Cabana T-shirt from Pro Wrestling Tees. But I met the Briscoes at a meet and greet, and
for that shirt. I got a couple of them from the crate.
I've met a lot. I've met a ton of pro wrestlers over the years. I've met so many that I'm pretty much done with meeting all the ones I've ever wanted to or were capable of meeting. And the Briscoes stand out for being one of the most warmest, friendliest, and nicest guys that I've met in pro wrestling. Both of them together, and they're so genuine. And I probably said this story before. So I'm in line to meet them, and they're gonna customize the autograph on. And I'm like, "Oh, what's your name?" "Oh, I'm John, Jon, no H." Oh, Jay signs it first, and then he passes it to Mark, and Mark's like, "Hey, he said John with no H." And Jay's like, "Oh, my bad. Shit, give me another one." He signs it correctly. Ah, John with no H. Yeah, there you go. The nicest, best guys, and that's telling of who Jay Briscoe really was. Never mind
Yeah.
anything else.
Yeah.
All I'll say is, you know, it says a lot when it says a lot about a guy when you will be at a main event performing one night and they be up very early the next morning to catch a flight to be at the guy's funeral the next day. So Royal Rumble 23, I am in San Antonio to see the event. This is the night where Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn, I think that was the night that they faced the Usos, and I think they beat the Usos at the Rumble. I was at the airport getting on my flight to come home. Who do I see in the airport but Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn heading on flights to Delaware to be at his funeral that next day. They, of course, they didn't talk to me. They didn't know me for a fucking hole in the wall. But they talked about it in interviews being at his funeral the very next day, and made me realize, oh, holy shit! I literally saw them catching flights going to the airport, coming back to Delaware to go and make sure that they were at his funeral later on that day, or at his memorial at that high school later on that day. You know, you have people you've worked with, maybe somewhere down the line they pass away, but it tells how good of a guy he was to at least those two, and how well they were together, and how well they worked together, and how close that they were willing to literally catch a flight, because that show was over late. The show was over like 11, and they were out there eyes red next morning getting on a flight, making sure that they got to that memorial on time for his funeral. So yeah, good dude. I wish I had gotten to meet him. At some point I'll meet Mark, I'm sure, but I wish I would have gotten to meet him. It seemed like from what I've heard about him, he seemed like a genuinely good dude. Yeah, that was that boy. That was that boy. Not them boys, but that was that boy.
Well, that just tells you how good of a guy that Jay Briscoe is. He left a lasting impression in this wrestling industry, especially Ring of Honor. He did not need the big stage to matter because the stage
He
needed
mattered.
him.
Yeah.
Yep.
Jay Briscoe definitely matters.
Yep.
Definitely.
Yep, indeed. Yep, indeed.
Well, that was a interesting show. Glad to reflect on the man Jay Briscoe, that boy right there. But next week, reach to the sky. Next week, Royal Rumble 2000, my choice. Gonna kick it off with Taz and Kurt Angle, the Hardy Boys and the Dudley Boys in a tag team table match. Chris Jericho, Chyna, Hardcore Holly in a triple threat match for the Intercontinental Championship. Oh, you didn't know? The New Age Outlaws taking on the Acolytes of Farouk and Bradshaw for the tag titles.
Damn.
Triple H and Cactus Jack in a street fight.
Okay.
And then we got our Royal Rumble match. I haven't seen this show in its entirety, so I'm looking forward to covering it with you guys next week.
Yep. That thing I'm on. It's early night. I might actually go watch it tonight.
There you go. All right. Well, I'm the Notorious One. I am Dom. I'm here with Stratfax. I'm here at Poppy Platinum. I'm here with the man that chose the show, BDC. Thank you so much. Guys, remember to like, subscribe, follow, and share. It's 2026. Just starting. We're warming up right now.
Yes, sir.
We will see you guys next time.
When you keep going, you look into the stars. You see Jay saying, "Reach for the sky, boys."
Son of a bitch.
Shit.